Hey, here's part 2 of my Sales Decoder survey. My secret weapon for not only getting more clients, but getting them to pay me exactly what I want and having them do most of the hard work and research for me, plus giving me all the tools I need and all the copy I need to fill out their Copy Pro niche so I can crank out copy on and on and on, upsell them copy, all sorts of great stuff. In other words, I can make a lot more money. So I can show you how to do the same thing. I'm John Benson, and this is Sales Copy Secrets. Welcome back, and this is how to use the video sales letter secret of the ages, the Sales Decoder survey, to get more copy clients. You can use this for sales pages and even email jobs, you name it. You need this data. And this is part 2, where you already covered part 1. And in case you missed it, you have to watch part 1 first. Sorry, you got to stop what you're doing right now. Watch part 1, because this will be totally confusing for you if you don't see part 1. So look at below, you can see part 1, and then come right back to part 2, and you will have everything you need to close more clients, sell more clients, get them super excited about you, get all the information that you need to write the copy job, and so much more. So let's dive into the training right now. Just like I did in part 1, I'll be listing the Copy Pro field names alongside these questions. And that way, if you own Copy Pro, which you definitely should, you can literally fill in their answers into the Copy Pro niche, and boom, you have a ton of data to create instant copy with. Now, if you don't have Copy Pro, then by all means, look below this video in the link in the description and pick it up, because it will create just about any copy template you need, so you never have to worry about starting from nothing. The worst feeling a copywriter can have, Copy Pro solves that. Okay, so here's part 2 of the Sales Decoder survey. We're going to start with this question. How does this affect your time, money, social status, and health? Now, here's what's interesting. This is going to help you form what's called secondary complaints and consequences, but also it's going to give you a lot of copy that you could actually create content with. And now, I want to say, some offers will not affect all 4 of these things. But if you ask the customer, hey, how does this affect their time? They've never thought of that, the question probably. So let's use weight loss as an example. This person can't lose weight. Well, what is this doing to their time? They're going to go, I don't know. I guess they move slower. So I guess they can't get as much done during the day. I never thought about that. Hey, thanks, copy genius. You see how cool those little questions are? And you can prod them, by the way. You can come in a little prepared, say, I'll start doing some thinking about this. And another way it affects them is when your brain is not functioning really well, which is what's happening when you're eating crap, you don't work as efficiently. So you have to work longer hours. If you come in prepared like that, holy crap, you will blow these clients away. And they will go, okay, just where do I send you the wire? So the next question is, how does it affect their finances? Now, people might look at, we're going to use weight loss as the tutorial again. This works for any product or niche in the world, but we'll use weight loss. So how would losing weight or not being able to lose weight affect somebody's money? Well, they're spending tons of money on food. They're spending way too much money on food. They're spending way too much money on diet books. They're wasting time, so therefore they're making less money. They have less time to make money. It is directly related to money. And if you look at some data on this, it's pretty staggering. Like specifically on weight loss and money, they're directly correlated. So the customer may not know that, but you as a copywriter with just about this much research can come in and go, hey, did you know that starting your own business can save you money? Well, of course it can. But what about something that doesn't sound like it would save you money? Like, I don't know, they sell shoes, okay? Okay, how would shoes help you save money? Well, guess what? You can do just this much research and probably find the answer. The third part of this question is, how does this affect your social status? In other words, how do people look at you when this is going on? With weight loss, this is a simple question to answer, but the customer may not have thought about it that way. So you want to ask them that question, does this offer, or does this problem rather, affect your prospect's social status? And if so, how? And finally, does it affect their health? Now let's take shoes, for example. They might say, well, buying my shoes isn't going to affect somebody's health. Really? Really? Did you know that if you're walking on shoes that are not good for your arches, you could end up with plantar fasciitis or whatever? You could do this, okay? I don't know much about feet and shoes, but I know that, and I could look it up in 5 seconds. So if you look this up ahead of time, that's another reason to do this live or on a Zoom call. That's what I prefer to do. You can ask these questions and go, I was thinking about this and blah. And they are going to be so in love with you. Again, they're going to keep coming back to you. They're going to think you're the greatest copywriter in the world, and you can thank me later. Now, the next question is a little tricky. What obstacles are stopping them, the customer, the prospect, from achieving the results or fixing their problems? Now, the reason why this is a little tricky is because these obstacles can be real, like I'm working 3 jobs, or I don't have money, or whatever the case may be, or they could be imaginary. So it's super important to get your prospect to distinguish between what's real and what's imaginary if they can. And the answers they will give you will blow your mind. You will be able to create cause triggers in CopyPro, mistaken beliefs in CopyPro, success myths in CopyPro, content pieces for the primary cause, which is a hook in CopyPro. All of that will come from the answers to this one question. So you definitely want to elaborate on this question, to get them to elaborate on this question. When they say, what obstacles? Let's say that in fact, this was a real survey. One of our clients was writing to Christian businessmen, helping them use biblical principles to build their businesses. So when he answered this question, it was very vague. It was like, they're not following the Bible. Well, that's not specific enough. So what obstacles are standing in their way? Why aren't they following biblical teachings? Well, because their pastors believe that all Christians should be poor, and they're not showing them these other scriptures that God wants them to be blessed in their businesses. Okay, why would they be listening to that? Because they probably deep down inside don't believe that they're worthy of this. Now we're getting to the heart of the matter, right? So if you just keep asking why, not like, don't do it as a bratty way like kids. Why? Okay, I love kids, but parents, you know what I'm saying? So you want to do this in a like, well, that's a great answer, but why? Can you go a little bit deeper? Can you go a little bit deeper? If you keep doing that, will you ever get gold? Now, the next question deals with CopyPro's false solutions. And the question is this: what are some of the fixes your customers have tried in the past that didn't work for them? And here's an example. To lose weight, they believe that they have to starve themselves and eat grapefruit all day long, right? Well, those are what we call false solutions in CopyPro. But they might say, they tried Jenny Craig. Okay, that's what we call a false solution. They tried this, that, and the other. Now, this is different than a mistaken belief in CopyPro, and that's what we just covered. Ideas are mistaken beliefs. What beliefs do they believe? What obstacles do they believe are holding them back? Some of those are ideas. Those are very, very few of those. Well, Jenny Craig held me back. Most of them will say that I believe I have to do X, Y, and Z, or I don't have time, or whatever. Those are false beliefs. Okay, those are mistaken beliefs. False solutions are bad stuff. In other words, bad things that just didn't work for them, and you need to know what those were. So, for example, if I'm selling CopyPro, somebody might say, well, I tried Jarvis, which is an AI copywriting tool, or I tried funnel scripts, or I tried writing copy on my own, or I tried hiring a copywriter. Those are what we call false solutions. Now, by the way, all 4 of those can work, by the way, for people. Not trying to badmouth any of those. Obviously, I am a copywriter, but for my customers that I'm marketing to, they may have tried that and it might have let them down. So I will call that a false solution. So one little embellishment that I make to the false solution question is, have you tried that yourself? To the customer, to the person I'm talking to, and what was your experience? Because they're not usually thinking in their own terms. Or is anyone you know tried that? Has anyone close to you tried that? So they can get more emotional with it. Oh my gosh, I did this and I was so frustrated. I felt like I was gonna just give it all up right then and there. Now you're getting some story elements. Now you're getting some fodder for that story, and it's coming right from their own mouth. Awesome. Now, the next question is related to that, is what additional pain will they experience if they follow this bad advice? If they keep following the mistaken beliefs and false solutions, what's going to happen? And in CopyPro, those fields are consequences and actually secondary complaints. You can build secondary complaints from that. So what else is going to happen to them if they keep doing this? Now, we're going to continue with the consequences here in just a moment. But first, how am I doing? Did you like what you're hearing so far? If so, look below. Pulverize that like button. Do me a favor, smash that bell for notifications when my new videos drop. Leave me a nice comment. Tell me how epic this is, or how much you're learning, or just say something sweet. I don't care. But do me a favor, subscribe if you haven't. So let's get on with it. Now, this next question has an interesting wording to it. What is one potential thing that this customer of yours would worry that someone would whisper behind their back, okay, about their problem? In other words, think of it this way. If someone was trying to lose weight, what would somebody whisper behind their back? Like, wow, could you just, are you going to need one of those scooters? Or should I clear the way of the aisle? Or, man, this person just let themselves go. People whisper some really horrible things like that, right? You want to know where that's coming from so that you can talk about secondary complaints negative feelings. You can use these to writing sales bullets even. And these are called inverse bullets. So if somebody said, what's one of the things that they worry somebody says behind their back is like, wow, that person just let go of their health entirely. What a horrible example to their children. So the sales bullet could read like the exact inverse of this: become an awesome example to your children, and people will stare at you and go, wow, that person's a beacon of health. They're setting a fantastic example. See, you got that, or I did, from taking what was negative and I just flipped it on its head. You could even say it in a negative way in a sales bullet. What if are you tired of people whispering behind your back, wow, that person really is letting their health go, and that poor child is suffering with it? Listen, those are juicy, awesome sales bullets, and you can get that data right from this one question. And we end all the negativity, thankfully, with this question: what's the worst case scenario? What's the worst thing that could happen? And this is where you want to be real. Okay, I'm not talking about the worst thing as in Sylvia Plath, we're all going to die. Although in some cases, this may be very true. For example, worst case scenario with weight loss can be that you could end up with a life-taking or life-debilitating illness such as X, Y, and Z. That's true, 100% true. In most cases, it could be like you could end up, broke and having to go to work at McDonald's or whatever the case may be. What is the ultimate fear? And that is the field that you would fill in CopyPro. Now we turn the tables and say, how does your product or service make life better for your prospect, or different? How does it change their life? Okay, so this is going to give you offer benefits, sales bullets, promises, offer features, offer details. It's going to give you a ton of stuff. Just asking them, how does it make life better? And every time they give you the answer, oh, what's going to help them lose weight? How will that make their life better? Always ask how, not just how, but how will it question. In other words, use the basis of the question. How will this make their life better? And they will give you the answer. Drill down and you will always come out with better answers. And finally, I asked this very bizarre, well, actually 2 more questions. This is a very bizarre way of asking the question, but I love it. What hair on fire problem does this offer solve for your customers? Hair on fire means immediate. I've got to solve this now. So it's not just like I want to lose 40 pounds. What problem do they have that gets solved right now? Okay. Well, right now, when they get out of bed in the morning, what are they thinking? It's like, oh, my knees hurt. Okay. So you'll get knee relief in 6 days. Let's say that. Or I'm borderline diabetic. You can lower your blood sugars in as little as 14 days. That's a hair on fire problem. My doctor just told me I have diabetes or I'm on my way to diabetes. Or my doctor just told me that blah, blah, blah. Or my wife just said she's threatening to leave me because we don't have the money to pay the bills. Okay, well, hey, listen, get money to pay the bills right now so you can stabilize your family life and get a little bit more security. That's a hair on fire problem. And you can help the customer write this if they have problems with it. In fact, it's the one question that you'll probably do the most elaboration on. Like, tell me more, is that immediate? And the question I ask is this really a hair on fire problem? In other words, is this something that needs immediate attention? Okay, and make them work for this answer. If their product can solve something immediate, presto, you have your ads. Okay, you have your primary, secondary complaints, primary, secondary goals. You have all sorts of stuff in here. You also have the offer USP, unique selling proposition. All of that can be answered in this segment if you ask the right follow-through questions. And finally, and this question is only for those that are not paid already or don't know how much this is going to cost or whatever. And this is a great way to phrase it. Are you ready to invest whatever it is that you're asking for if I accept you? If you're accepted, are you ready to invest X to get this copy project done? So that's how I phrase it to get them to go, oh, I need to be accepted by you? Yes, you do. It's not you accepting me, it's me accepting you. You're flipping the tables. You're taking control. You're taking the position of authority. And when you do, you'll say, are you ready to pay me X to get all of this done for you? Now that I understand the problem, now that I understand the goals, now that we understand each other, now that I'm much more familiar with your product and service. I mean, we are ready to rock and roll here. If you're accepted by me, which I go through a process, I look this over, I go, is this a good fit for me? Can I do him a good job or her a good job? If you're accepted, are you ready to invest? And this solves every financial problem that you have. So here's what I would say if it was a $30,000 job. I would say, listen, are you ready to invest $15,000 of $30,000 a day? We'll get the next $30,000 before I deliver the final scripts, but $15,000 gets me going. I have to accept you, however. So I need to take these answers home, make sure it's a fit. I'll get back to you tonight or tomorrow with the answer. So you've taken control of the entire situation. But if they say yes, boom, you are done. So you say, okay, great. I've thought about it. I know I can do a kick-ass job for you. Here's where you send me the wire, and you are off to the races. So I hope the Sales Decoder Survey and the techniques I've covered will really help you out. And one thing that would help me out, do me a favor, look below, like the video, smash the bell for notifications, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave me a comment. I'm John Benson, and as always, I'm here to help make you unignorable.